See, like the improved menus that we have, say like with the snacks, they're now making their own cookies. And then with lunch, they're like adding huge churros and stuff like that. Which I think is a really good idea. We're like expanding our taste.
I think they do a very good job, and I think the students here are fortunate because the variety of the things that they offer, and they do, and the whole idea too, it's not just food, it's about nutrition. It's about food that, that nourishes the body, that, you're young people and you need to be eating the right things. And in a lot of homes, people don't always offer the best things, You can't always be eating French fries and hamburgers. You have to have all of the food groups. And that's their role and that's their job. And I think everybody wants food that tastes good.
Yeah.
So I think what they, the suggestions that the kids make, I think, they listen to them. And if they can do that within the guidelines that they have to operate in, they do that.
And the fact that it's free lunch is just, it opens more.
Yeah, I think that's very generous.
Yeah, very generous.
It is.
Sometimes you never really get free lunches.
Right. So, and that's the other thing too. And with that, the fact that it is a free lunch, they want to make sure that that students get to try things and eat things that maybe on their own they would not. Some kids really like broccoli. Some kids can't stand it. But it's important that it's there. It's a nutritious food.
Yeah.
So, that they're the kinds of the things, the offerings and selections that they have. They're important.
There's plenty of selections.
I think so.
From. Like, there's the people that don't like vegetables. They don't have to have vegetables.
Well, there's people that only want to eat pizza all the time too. And,
there's always
and it's there. I mean, it's just that that's not. But even if that's it, that doesn't mean you offer just pizza. Put other things out.
Yeah.
So encourage people to try those other things.
Then, if there was no other choice left, there'd be the peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
Yes.
Which, my biggest opinion on the peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, they slather the peanut butter on, and there's hardly any jelly.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It's known for everyone.
No, I didn't know that. I don't eat them, so I don't know that. So there you go.
I talked
You can
to,
tell them that though, and
I
they
did.
might.
They said that they have like this small container of jelly, and then just this bucket of peanut butter.
So like, there's more peanut butter than jelly. So,
Yeah.
okay, that's
More
interesting.
jelly.
That's interesting to know.
And the bread, I can tell that that's better because before the bread was like weird. Now it's like actual bread that you can get from the store.
Oh, I didn't know that the bread before was weird.
It was.
Huh.
Our last question is one of his.
Okay.
Is it possible for there to be an after-school activity day once every Friday, if possible, where students can have a moment to relax and have fun with games such as football, floor hockey, kickball? If so, would there be an activity bus involved to drop kids off when parents are incapable of doing so?
No, I don't think that has come up many times, not just an activity day, but just the idea of having an activity bus. Again, it's funding.
Yeah.
It's who pays for that, and we did have activity buses for a number of years. Unfortunately, that was one of the many cuts that came. You guys are young. You're in junior high, but in 2008 there was a terrible recession in the United States, and that recession really kind of kicked off with schools this trend of cutting, and the funding the funding streams really started to dry up. And then schools then, the parts of their budgets that they needed to prioritize as what was the most important, they did that. And then they, they cut things. And, the truth of it is, it's all important. That's how we lost our library, was during that same time.
For like reasons.
Well, you only have so much money,
Yeah.
okay? And then to continue to operate, and things are getting higher. I mean, you'll do this in your own personal life, okay? When you guys get out and you're earning an income,
Yeah.
all right? If you're making, let's say when you kind of first get started out, maybe you're making $500 a week,
Yeah.
okay? Now, out of that $500, if you have expenses that exceed that, you're going to be in debt, all right? So if you want to eliminate debt, you have to start trying to bring these two together, all right? So, but you have to eat. So you go, okay, I have to eat, but I don't have to eat maybe desserts. So they get cut. And,
Just a sacrifice.
well, you have to, because you only have so much money.
Yeah.
It's not an unlimited resource. So, and what you're required to do, and that's really how schools run. Schools are operated and they run by law and they run by policy.
Yeah.
That's how schools run. And when you only have so much money, and if you're required by law to offer lunch, if you're required by law to offer so many curriculum areas, well, maybe the ones that you're not required to, well, maybe they get cut. And they're the things that start to happen so that you can bring those, you can balance the budget. You can bring those, and in your personal lives, people that overspend, people that spend more than they bring in, they wind up in debt, okay? Until nobody's loaning you money anymore, because you're too far in debt, you owe too much.
So you have to
Okay.
balance it out.
Right, the guy who's the most fortunate one is the one who's earning more than he needs,
Yeah.
because he can bank money, he can save money, he can invest money, and create even more wealth. See, they're the most fortunate. That's what you want. That's everybody's desire to do that. So, schools, though, are funded by public tax dollars. And depending on the community that you're in, there's only so many of them that are going to be out there and be available. So it's the job of a school and the school board to be as judicious with that money as they can. That you want to spend it where it's most needed, that there is, that you're not wasting any money. But what you also start to find out is you need money, okay? And that's when it leads to things like our first question about potholes,
Yeah.
okay? Well, you have to prioritize. What is it that you need and what is it that you're required? I don't think anybody is required by law to offer parking lots.
Yeah.
You'd like to, I mean,
You'd
but
like to.
but in your facilities, you do need to park cars. People do use the building. They are in and out of here. But they're the things that you have to start to think of. What is the highest priority? And then the other thing too, when you start to see things in a commercial building like this, that's a big parking lot. That's a lot of macadam. That's a lot of dirt and stone and a lot of equipment needed to pave a parking lot that size, where the buses are, where the students park, where the faculties park, where the main entrance coming in, the road around the back of the building. That's an awful lot of macadam, and that is not cheap.
Especially with the highway like right there.
Oh, you're talking thousands and thousands of dollars. So that's what that's what you have to understand. It's not like you have people that don't know that there isn't a problem. It's how can they fix it, and what resources do they have to fix it? We try to do a lot of the repairs ourselves.
Yeah.
You can see our custodians out there, they'll have a little tractor and they have some stone and they're trying to fill in holes. But the next time it rains, it all washes out again. So you do those things. You try to maintain things the best you can on your own. And then eventually when there's going to have to be a major repair, that's gonna be costly. This is an old building. And these are, older facilities. The picture behind me, this place hasn't changed a whole heck of a lot. And that picture was taken when this building was built. Yeah, I mean, so they're the kind of things that you encounter when you're managing a school, and and not only that, our board that's in place, they don't have to just manage this school, they have to manage 2 other schools. And our elementary school, I believe, is even older than this one. So that requires a lot of maintenance too.
Especially
It's not easy stuff.
Not easy stuff, but there's risks that you have to take.
Yes, there are, and there's responsibilities that you have to keep to. And that's I think, when people get elected to a school board, I think they have a knowledge of things to a point from what they've heard. Like you said, there's rumor, and then there's things that you read, but then when they're actually in there working and they actually see the dollar figures that are there, and they see what the tax rolls and what is being brought in by tax collectors. And there are people that are also delinquent on tax. You don't always get the money that you're supposed to be getting. So they're the things that are the real realities of it, and that's how schools work. You try to be efficient, and you try to do the things that the best you can, and hopefully those things will work out.
Do you have any questions that you want to add, comments?
Not really.
None? Okay.
So I guess that concludes.
You guys did a great job. I was glad we got to meet and talk.